gonna stop. No, no, we won't go. I'm hugging your parents in spirit. Yeah, I know that we on this case and we demand answers. Oh, they expose. The real queen of receipts dropping. Oh, and we got your back. Somebody gonna talk. Hell yeah, the ancestors walking. I'm so serious. Queen on the case. Oh, they asking full-blown panic now. They trying to shut us down, close our mouth. But I just won't. Damn that. Nolan. Well, we not gonna stop. No, no. Hugging your parents in spirit, yeah. Nolan, we on this case and we demand answers. Oh, they expose. What happened to you? We tired. You don't get the all my kids ain't cover it up. I said, show yourself, yeah. Steady talking about they was his friends. I said, show up and talk if that's the case. Hold on, Nolan, it's coming to the light. Yeah, the queen on the case. Hold on, Nolan, we won't give up. Rest in his peace. We all love you. No. Nolan. Well, we not gonna stop. No. We won't go. I'm hugging your parents in spirit. On this case. Oh, they expose. The real queen of receipts dropping. We got your back. Somebody gon' talk. Hell yeah, the ancestors walking. Rest in his peace. We all love you.
Right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. So with that all being said, as you can see, we have a surprise guest here. I told you all I had something for you, a surprise, right? So this is Mr. Troy Johnson, and he is a resident of Ocean Springs, and he's here to give us the dirt and the tea. So with that all being said, let's get some fire emojis up in the chat for Troy. Okay, let's get those fire emojis. All right. Hey, Greta, Mel, Desmond, Danny Joe, 504 Nola is in the virtual building. Shalavit is here. All right, Barbara, I see you. Emperor Rex, Cookie, Nessa G, Betty Boop, Irma, Just Anticipate, Patrice. All right. KQB is here. Deronda. Okay, so shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. So before we get started, as per usual, y'all know we have to keep the lights on. So let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find her products at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil. Okay, so let's get ready to get black into it. Now, before we get started, Troy, I'm ready to hear all you got to tell us. But before we get started, we have some new information, okay, some new audio in the Nolan case. Now, I don't know if this has been authenticated, but we're going to listen to it because someone sent me this. I forgot who sent it. I'm sorry. One of my subscribers, but this is from Taylor House Publishing. Okay, I think he's the first one that posted this. So let's get into it because if this is true, the judge and the sheriff have been exposed. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's listen to it. I'm going to use an overlay because I don't have permission to be using his video, but shout out to Taylor Publishing, Taylor House Publishing. He's always bringing the good news and very good commentary and information.
Blessings. Peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. And I want you to take a listen to this dispatch call. This is reportedly a dispatch call from the Jackson County Sheriff Office as they are on their way to Judge Ashley Cole's house on the night of the 4th, going into the 5th. Just listen to this, and I'll be back with some more commentary.
10-4. 9-3. 0803.
Negative, we're en route to the judge's house now. Negative, we're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all are en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house? En route to the judge's house. Destin 4, I keyed up on you. Appreciate it. 10-4. 5123 in the area. Mississippi 28, John, Mary 809. Finish up with whatever you got and get down here. Currently dealing with a potential missing person. You have all the information from the 1050.
10-4.
1024, 108, and J2.
10-4.
So this audio I found on a social media platform, and it is alleged to be from the 4th of July. And it says, dispatch audio sounds like Warren's mom, the judge, contacted police regarding Nolan Wells missing right before midnight on July 4th. And it also went into the 5th. And you'll be able to see that where I circled it at. Hit the replay and check it out again. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the play button to get to a full live stream or video.
And shout out to my girl at the MTGV podcast. She's the one who found that video. And once again, she says she found it on social media. So I'm not saying that this is authentic, but it sounds like a call that is relative to the Nolan Wells case. As you heard one of the people on the call say, well, I'm en route to the judge house. And then you heard the other person on the call say, well, are you coming from the judge house or are you en route to the judge house? And then he says, no, I'm en route to the judge's house. Now, evidently, this is the night in which they called for the missing person. And the police, quote unquote, interviewed Warren. But if you take a listen to the verbiage that they are using, they're not saying we're on the way to this complainant house, or we're on the way to check out this missing persons report, or we're on the way to see what this issue is. No, we are on the way to the judge's house. The judge's house. That denotes a familiarity with the judge, not formal, nothing formal, but we're on the way to the judge's house. We're on the way to see how we can cover this thing up. Now, also, you heard him mention at one point in the call, 1024. And I had to look up what 1024 means. It's assignment completed. Now, what assignment are they talking about? Now, mind you, once again, it looks like that is about a 30-minute call. And so we just got the last 2 minutes of it. If anybody's able to find a more detailed version of that call, please feel free to send it to that number right there. But what once again bothers me is the level of familiarity in which they are talking about this judge. And so if we are thinking, like most people thinking, that this is some big elaborate cover up, then this would lead one to believe that if Warren or any of the boys had something to do with it, then they would be more apt to cover up for them, because listen, the judge, like, I'm on the way to my friend's house. Like, they're talking like they're going to shoot some pool, not they are going to find out what happened to this missing person. Let's listen to it one more time and see if you guys can relate to what I'm saying. Just listen.
10-4. 9-3. 0803.
Negative, we're en route to the judge's house now. Negative, we're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all are en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house? En route to the judge's house. Destin 4, I keyed up on you. Appreciate it. 10-4. 5123 in the area. Mississippi 28, John, Mary 809. Finish up with whatever you got and get down here.
Now, I don't know what he said right there. It sounds like he said such and such and such, get whatever you got and get down here. Let's rewind that a little bit.
Finish up with whatever you got and get down here. With a potential missing person. Do you have all the information from the 1050?
10-4.
And if you hear what he said at the end of that call, he says such and such and such and such 1050. Now I looked up 1050 in police code, and that means a vehicle accident, a accident with property damage only, accident with personal injury.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. Now, with that all being said, listen, I don't know if that's authentic or not. I literally just got that not too long ago. But if it is, I'm sorry, make that make sense. What do they have going on? Now, we have to be careful because you all know that they're putting out things to muddy the water, misinformation, and all of that. And also, the 30 seconds that we now have been listening to, where we hear them saying, "Damn it, Barton," all of that. Now, if you all remember, I wasn't sure if that was authentic at first because that was not initially, it was not initially put out because TMZ clipped it. So I played TMZ's, and when one of you all sent me the other with the 30 seconds, I wasn't sure. So, so could be the same thing, but I hope it is authentic. Okay, because this is more damning evidence against them. Okay, so now one more thing I want to play before we get started, and this is on Nancy Grace's show. Okay, so if you all remember, we were watching her show last night. We didn't get to finish because I had to run, but I told you all we might see the rest of it. So I just want to hear this audio. I want you all to hear it. Also, Latasha, thank you for becoming a member, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. I want you all to hear this because supposedly someone said, "Get on the boat." Okay, so let's see what's going on here.
Nancy, average savings
Hold on, I forgot my overlay.
are based on borrowers who save over $199.99. And good luck. Joining me now, Susan Hendricks, investigative journalist, author of Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi, who has been on this case from the beginning. Susan Hendricks, we all know that everyone in our country is innocent until proven guilty. And regardless of how you or I or anybody else feels, that includes the young men on the boat with Nolan Wells. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of questions that have to be answered. Is this sound real? Has it been enhanced? Who enhanced it? Was it AI or doctored before Janetta Brantley pumped it up so we can hear it? I want you to hear another version.
You can see that I have the CTO channel completely muted, so we're only listening to the callers. Then I go through and simply raise the volume of all of the chatter we hear at the beginning of the call.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Up! Let the go!
Susan, that was enhanced by my producer, Sydney. I know her like that. I asked her, enhance it the best you can. She, again, has no interest in the outcome of this case. She pulls up, quote, "Want me to cover him up?" I mean, Susan, weigh in.
I was listening to the enhanced version, both of them now, not doctored, by the way. There's a big difference there. Have you ever heard, Nancy, on Instagram where you listen to two things and your mind goes to what you're thinking of, like green car or moon boat? What are we really hearing? I believe that something nefarious did happen. Where I think the answers will be, again, this is my opinion, but I believe something happened there and we're not hearing the full story. And you pointing out, Nancy, how crowded that area was. So let's say what people are claiming, that it was an accidental drowning. No one saw. Look here at the crowd. Nobody saw what happened. And all of us have our phones on us all the time. No one recorded this. I think the answers are in the timeline and also the autopsy, when we will hear answers there.
You're seeing video from the Officer Tatum show, and I don't know what they were trying to show with it, but how can someone be dead and floating in the water and nobody notice? Which leads me to, Susan Hendricks, the fact that we have learned tonight that the state's autopsy is complete, but it's being kept secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Being held for the grand jury to look into that. And the fact, as you brought up, Nancy, earlier, that part of his throat was missing, will that be key? There's so many questions around this, but right, it's a public record, but we're not hearing about it. I guess they're waiting for the grand jury to show them that first.
Joe Scott Morgan, death investigator.
Okay, forgot I was muted. Okay, so listen, I want to tell you all this. At the end of the day, it looks like they're getting exposed more and more. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, every day there is something new. It's not working out in their favor, is all I'm saying. Okay, so Troy, what's going on?
How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm doing great, beloved. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Doing great. Doing great.
That's good. Okay, so now listen, I have several questions. Okay, you already know I do. So what I would like for you to talk about is some of the nefarious things that have been going on down there in Ocean Springs that they have covered up, that they don't want people to know about. You know, the racial tensions, what's happening to Black folk down there, and anything else you want to share. Let's start with that
Okay.
first.
Well.
The racial tensions. Let's talk about that, and then I want to get into Jayvon and his mother.
Okay. The racial tension in Ocean Springs, man. Like you gotta be from that place to really know about it. Like I say, I've been there for 44 years. My family been there for 200 years, so I know everything about Springs. My time when I was growing up to what I've heard my grandmother told me and other people telling me and all this stuff, but the racial tension in Ocean Springs is, man, it is something serious. It is something serious. At certain times and certain places, it can be dangerous for a black man.
I can imagine. So, like, what are some of the things that have happened? Because let's talk about when you said the Black people there, there's some Black people that have come up dead, and they
Oh
said that
yeah.
they did it to themselves, like being found on the train tracks. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yes, there it was a guy by the name of Johnny Coleman. And
Mm-hmm.
he was he was dating this white lady, and he was found by a bar called Lynchburg Landing in Ocean Springs. Behind the Lynchburg Landing is a railroad track that runs through Ocean Springs, and his body was found there. And they said that he committed suicide, but we know, the black community know, that Danny Coleman had a lot to live for, and there's no way that
Mm-hmm.
he would just kill himself. But he was bruised up when they found him, bruised
Mm-hmm.
up. Of course, when they put him on the train track for the train to hit him, he's gonna sustain more injury and stuff because of the train. But he was already beaten before the train hit him.
Before he was put out there, huh? That's crazy. So you said it was by this bar called Lynchburg Landing. Troy, can you hear me?
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. You said it was by behind a bar called Lynchburg Landing. I can't hear you, beloved. It seems like you
My
may have a bit
sound.
of a
I can't
okay,
hear you.
stay right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Something might be going on with your connection.
I can't.
You can't hear me? Oh Lord.
I'm trying to get my
You wanna
sound. I can't hear you.
okay, you wanna go out and try to come back in? You may need to go out and come back in, beloved. Well, you can't hear me, so hold on. Let me see if I can send him a message.
Oh my goodness. I can't hear you.
Hold on, guys. Hold on just a second. Technical difficulties. Okay. Unmute yourself, Troy. You got to unmute yourself. There you go. Can you hear me?
Yes. It's staticky, but I can hear.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to call you on the phone, okay? We're going to do it on the phone because it's sounding too choppy, okay? So I'm going to just going out of the, well, you can stay in the studio, but I'm going to call you on the phone.
Okay.
Hold on, beloveds. The devil is busy. Hold on. I'm going to put you on speaker.
Hello.
Troy, can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, great. So we're just going to do it over the phone. It's okay. It's all good. All right, now, so listen, go ahead and finish telling us about what you were saying about the man that was found behind, you said he was behind the bar called the Lynchburg Landing, right?
That's where they found him. Lynchburg
Oh,
Landing.
hold on.
That's where they found it, behind that bar. And the black community that he got hit by a train, he committed suicide, and we was like, no, that's not what happened like that, but that's what they wanted us to believe. Ocean Springs police and all this. We knew he was dealing with a white woman.
Right.
Black people knew that he was dealing with a white woman. And
hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, beloved. Let me make sure they can hear you. Can you all hear what Troy is saying? Put a 1 in the chat if you all can hear him. 1's in the chat if you all can hear what he's saying. 1's in the chat. Can you all hear him? Yes or no? Let me know. Troy, you can stay out of the studio. You don't have to come back in the studio.
They can't hear me?
No, they said they can. Okay, great. Okay.
Okay.
So just keep going. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they found his body, say he was hit by a train, and we were just like, nah, he wouldn't do that. Like, there's no way. But in that vicinity where Lynchburg Landing is, that's where his body was found.
Wow. And so what did his family say about it? Did they try to have an investigation done or anything like that?
But like they didn't have much money. So it's like there's nothing that you could do if you ain't got, money to hire people to do this and do this. And that family didn't have any money, so they had to just go with what the investigators, the autopsy and all this, so they just had to go with whatever they said. But that's how it goes at Ocean Springs. If you ain't got the money to fight it, it's like they got you.
Wow. That's messed up. Now let me ask you this. So have there been any other situations like Nolan's that you can think of? Now I know there is plenty of them in Mississippi, but what about in Ocean Springs? Has anyone else supposedly drowned under suspicious circumstances?
Kevin Shaw.
Kevin Shaw. Now what happened to him?
He he went on a canoeing trip with some high school students. It was like a high school trip.
Mm-hmm.
And they went on a river trip on a river, and from my understanding, because I was a kid, but he did not come back. He came back in the body bag, and it shocked the whole community. And we was told that he drowned.
So the same type of scenario.
Same type of scenario, and the black people was like, man, there's no way. Like all the people who was in high school with him, they was like, man, there's no way he was a guess what? But guess what he was? A football star.
Really?
A football star. Yes, he was. Ocean Springs, and went on that canoeing trip and never came back.
You know
it
what?
Was ruled accidental drowning, and that was the end of it.
You know what? That seems to be a pattern because I'm going to tell you something that I recognized about maybe a few weeks ago. And I told my audience about this, that these young black men, and you all remember me telling you this, pay attention. These young black men who often go off with these all groups of white teenagers or whomever, and they don't come back. I told you all that I noticed that it's usually athletes, specifically football players. Now, this seems like these are specifically the ones they're targeting. I mean, just think about it. The young man, yeah, that's what I'm noticing. And I think it has something to do with them being jealous of their athletic ability in some of these cases.
Oh man, and come to think about it, he was high yellow like Nolan too. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, high yellow boy like Nolan. You know, the white girls liked him and all this stuff, and man, went on that trip and never seen him again. We was like, oh my goodness.
That is so sad. Hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second, beloved. Okay, Asa Katano says, Queen, the page where you publish your videos is proof that you published that video. And you may want to send out cease and desist letters to WIG and orders. Thank you, beloved. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay. That's a good idea, you know? Okay. So now, Troy, here's the thing. I want you to tell me about, you said that you had some concerns about Jayvon. Now, what is that all about? What did you have concerns about? And then you said you reach out to his mom.
His safety, more about his safety, because like I say, I'm from Ocean Springs, and I know how these people get out. I know how they operate. So when I seen all that going on with Jayvon, I reached out to his mother. I know her personally.
Now, wait a minute. What did you see going on with him at first?
When he was in the when he gave his TMZ interview and all that old stuff. Right. I was concerned because I saw Jayvon go out on the boat.
Oh, you did. Did you talk about the day that this all happened?
July 4th, I was cleaning my yard. I live on the beach. I was cleaning my yard, and he went out with my neighbors. I don't know them personally, but my neighbors live like 3-4 houses down from me, and they were the grown-ups was chaperoning the youngins. Jayvon and his friends, they were on the back of the boat as they were pulling them going to the dock, which is literally 20 minutes from Horn Island.
Okay.
So I saw them go to the island. I saw them come back, and it was the same group of people. And that was kids on the boat, but they were chaperoned by adults. I seen that with my own eyes. So I don't think that Jayvon was on the boat with Warren and all those other guys, because I saw with my own eyes him being chaperoned by adults going on the water. And I was only concerned because of I know how Ocean Springs try to do black people. And so I reached out to his mother weeks ago, way before now, how people are trying to point the finger at Jayvon.
Yes, and I predicted that was going to happen. I told people, I said, now he doesn't know, but they're going to start pointing the finger at him. And that's exactly what they're doing.
So weeks ago, before they pointed the finger at Jayvon, I reached out to his mother because I know her personally, and I was like, "Hey, I'm just trying to help you because I know how Ocean Springs is, and like the tone that I got from her, she was just like, hey, nobody's gonna mess with my effing son and all this. So I'm just like, well, I'm just trying to look out on you and just trying to help out. That's it." And she was like, well, let me call you back. And she never called me back.
I wonder why she was so defensive.
I don't know, but I was just like, man, maybe she, like, I don't know, but she was, to me, it was like a defense mode. It wasn't like, oh, well, Troy, what's up? What do you know? Or what? Like, not, it wasn't no, it was more of basically just leave us alone. Leave me alone. Don't call my phone. So when I saw that they was trying to blame it on Jayvon, I was like, man, I want to reach out to her again, but I remembered how she was when I tried to speak to her the first time. It wasn't good. So I was like, I don't know if I need to reach out to her again because she's not from Ocean Springs. She just moved to Ocean Springs, so she really don't know how these people operate.
Right.
So I was just trying to, show some love and, just try to help out. But I was like, man, how they trying to blame Jay? Well, I think Tatum, my God, honest opinion, that's who I think Tatum is trying to push it on.
No, I would not be surprised. I absolutely believe that. Hold on for 1 second. Rupert says, thanks to this brother for giving us the ground history. Okay, yes, thank you, Troy. The audience wants to thank you. And also, Rupert, thank you for your insight and also your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Yeah, we absolutely appreciate you being on here. So now let me ask you this. With this whole thing, with Jayvon going on TMZ, now there was rumors that he was threatened to go on there. Do you know anything about that?
No, but I wouldn't doubt it if he didn't get threatened. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he went on there to make it, because when he said that this is not racial, like, first of all, I had to object to that because he's too young to know about the races of Ocean Springs. He's only, 17, 18 years old, and he just moved to here. So he can't, I can say that because I know the history. And
right.
Yes, it is racial. Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So he could, for him to say, no, it ain't. I think that he was told to say that, but man, there's people my age and older than me, black, that's been in Ocean Springs their whole life. They can say the exact same thing that I'm saying.
I believe you. Now
they can say the
I believe you, but let me ask you this now. What do you think of Trayston? Because Trayston pretty much said that he's basically disowned his black family, the side of his family that's black, and he seems to me, I really think that he doesn't know what they did. I think that whatever they told him, he believes it, but he just seems like he don't think he's even black.
I don't know Trayston, but like I said, I got some boys that's his age. They know him, and like I say, it's very few. You might get a couple of that act like Tristan.
Okay.
And they think that they are white. You got a couple of them that may act like that that will say, that this and this and this and this, because they be around them so much that man, it's like they sort of like brainwash them. Sort of say. It would be brainwashed because it's like, you see the facts, you see all what's going on too, but like I say, Tristan is young too.
Right.
So Tristan don't know Ocean Springs.
Yeah. I bet he doesn't. He probably thinks he does. Okay. Latoya says, Queen, will you ask him what time did Jayvon get back? Honey, I doubt he knows what time Jayvon got back. Okay. I don't think he was. Oh, you do?
Okay, so now when they went, because it was the daytime. It was. Let's see, they went out. I would say they left between. I would say 11 to like 12:15, no later than 12:30, going out. Came back, I would say, 4:30, 5 o'clock. But the sun was still shining high. It was still a whole lot of daylight left because I was still cleaning my yard. So that wasn't it was 6-7 hours of me cleaning my yard. So it was around like 4 to 5:30. I mean not 5:30, 4:30.
Okay.
4:30 that they came back.
That's right, because the people that took him live right down the street from you, right?
Right, 3 houses down.
Okay, yeah, so you would have seen him coming back. Okay.
Yeah, I see him every day.
Okay. Okay, hold on for 1 second, beloved. Latoya, thank you for your question, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Irma says Jayvon's brother made a post saying that he wished he never left him or Nolan out there on the water, but there was nothing he could do. That is so sad. Thank you for that, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. And someone wanted to know, is Jayvon mixed? Is he biracial?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
Just light skin.
Yeah, I think his dad might be high yellow too.
Okay.
Light skin too. So
I haven't heard that term in so long. Not high yellow. I know you old school. Okay, I know you are old school, honey. I haven't heard that since I was a kid. Okay, but it's all good. Okay, so now with that all being said, so what about the FBI stopping you the other day because you've been posting all this stuff? What did they say?
Now, it was crazy because when that happened, like I was doing my little post on Ocean Springs about numerous of deaths of people. Talked about when the chief of police of Ocean Springs, his son, killed the black man, shot him in the face, and he
What?
go to jail. Yes.
Tell us about this.
What's that?
Tell us the details about this.
Okay. It was before my time. It was in 1974, but it still happened in Ocean Springs. The chief of police. It was the chief police last name of Williams. And his son Freddie Williams was a boxing instructor, and one of the black guys who he was supposed to be coaching, they said that Freddie was molesting the boys. And say this happened all in the area of Lynchburg Landing.
The same place where the other guy died, the Shaw guy.
Yes, Freddie shot the chief of police son, shot the black man. He shot the black kid, last name straight. Shot him, killed him, and his bond was $5,000. I had did my little research, but
$5,000.
Yes, ended up doing no jail time, but he did do prison time for molesting kids.
Wow. Yeah. So now, do you know why he shot the guy in the face?
It was when I read, they say he said that he was playing with the gun.
What?
But yeah, playing around. But I had talked to some elders, and they said that the straight kid was confronting him about, hey man, why you be doing the molestation and all the?
Let's try not to say that word, beloved. You already said it a couple times, so let's just say molesting.
Okay, well,
but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Essayed. Can I say
there you go. Yeah. So he was questioning him about it.
Yeah, he was questioning about the essay, well, not allegations, because he was doing it to him.
Oh, wow. Really?
And shot him in the face.
That's a darn shame. And then got away with it, and by saying that he was playing around with the gun. That is absolutely crazy.
Now, there was some black guys who was man, this is crazy, because it's like it's playing its today. So there was a black guy who was an eyewitness, but he had a speech impediment. Last name of Farmer. I think the first name was Robert. Yes, Robert Farmer. That's who. Robert Farmer, something like that, had a speech impediment. More something like how Ben Crump be talking, and they want to try to talk about him because, like, come on, man, don't do that. So they didn't submit his evidence because of his impaired speech.
No, that's absolutely crazy.
Yes.
I guess
walk free.
I guess any old excuse will do. That is absolutely crazy. Now, what about all these illegal substances I heard is going on down there? Because you know they're trying to paint the picture that Tatum is trying to paint the picture that Nolan was possibly doing illegal substances. But I heard that the guys that he was with, okay, there's a person from two people from Ocean Springs, two white people, okay, one named Alexa and the guy, I can't remember his name, but they were on TikTok live one night when I was on there, and they were saying that those boys that Nolan was with are the ones who do illegal substances, but not Nolan.
Oh yes. In the city of Ocean Springs, let me tell you about how if a white person dies in Ocean Springs, 9 times out of 10, it's from drugs, OD. Like
really?
that, you can look it up. It's always OD. We know how they died. They tell us of how they died. When a black person dies, it's mainly a man, a black male in the city of Ocean Springs, undetermined. He got hit by a train, he walked in front of the train, or he accidentally drowned. We tired of hearing that. You know how long we've been hearing that same exact thing? They've been telling us this since way before I was born.
Now, do you think these people that are being found on these train tracks, do you think that they're dead, like beaten and dead before they put them there, or just landed there while they're unconscious? Because that's really crazy.
Kill them and they put them on the tracks, or they kill them and they drown them. That's how it is. Yep, and it's like it's like they hide with it. Like I don't mingle with them and stuff because it's I was always taught, just to we don't go out on the boats with them, and not trying to act like I'm better, but my grandmother always told me before she died, don't go out on the boats with them people, because how can you drink all that water if something happens?
Yeah.
Well, you can't drink all that water, so don't go out on the boat with them. Don't go to parties. Don't go to spend the spend the night stuff with the white people. No, so I always listen to that, and I've stayed safe over these years by remembering what my grandma told me.
Right, absolutely, honey. My mother told us the same thing. Now, you know what I thought is interesting is when I was talking to you last night, you said that your son had asked you if he could go hunting with some of them, right?
Oh yes. And he had just turned 18, and he likes to hang around the white boys, even I don't, but it's a certain type of hanging that I allow. I don't do all the, you going out on the boats, you go to a party, but you come home. Ain't no spending the night, and you're going to let me know where you at before you going. I'm going to pull up your Life 360. That's how we operate down here. We do Life 360. You're going to call and check in, and I'm going to pull up to make sure that everything is what it is.
I know that's right.
Because I know the history, and, things happen. And so when he told me that he wanted to go hunting with his friends, and he went behind my back and bought a rifle from Academy. Academy Sports. And I was like, how can you do that? But you're only 18. I guess that's the law. When you're 18, you could go buy a shotgun from Academy. So when he told me that he got it, I say, so what are you supposed to be doing with this? I'm going hunting with my friends. I say, this is why you cannot go. I say, because I'm not going to get a phone call from the Jackson County Sheriff saying that you got shot accidentally and you're dead. They can't tell me that.
Okay.
I'm not going for that. You can't tell me that. So I say, son, that's why you can't go, because I know what's going to happen.
No, that's right. And then, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I told him that something will happen and I'm not going to get that phone call. So then when all this Nolan stuff come out, I pull my sons, both of them, to the side, and I say, y'all, this is why I have always not be strict. Like, I'm always asking you, where you at, who you with. I want to know who you with, what kind of party you at, and all this. Give me your 360 location and all this. Like, I'm always on them. So that's why. And they see now, like, yeah. And it's like with the black boys down here, if they are into football, they don't go to the NFL or the big colleges. They don't do, like, with the white boys down here, if they good in football, they're going to go to Alabama, Ole Miss, all those big colleges to where you can progress to the NFL after your career. Man, they just had a black, it was a black kid that just graduated by the name of, well, can I say his name if he's over 18?
Yeah.
Sherrod Whitehead, black kid. I'm talking about, man, scored all the touchdowns for Ocean Spring High School. And he is not in no big time college.
Really? So no scholarship offers from big colleges or anything?
What's that?
No scholarship offers from big colleges?
Man, he is at something like a little community college, like something like a community college, but you the one, you made Ocean Springs. If you wasn't there, Ocean Springs wouldn't have won the games for the whole time. For you was in 9th grade to 12th grade.
That's crazy.
I'm talking about fast as lightning. Every time he touched the ball, he's scoring. They can't touch him. They can't catch him. Took off, and I'm just like, he went to where? But it was another white boy by the name of Bray Hubbard.
Okay.
He went to Alabama. And man, he's on the news of Alabama, so like he's the next. He's being looked at by the NFL, and I'm like, but they played on the same team.
That sounds real crazy.
They played on the same team, but now black people who know this, who know Ocean Springs, they send their kids to the schools that's black. Like, have you ever heard of Devin Booker?
No, I haven't.
Well, he basketball, he's in the NBA, but he went to an all black school.
Okay.
Moss Point, that's Jackson County. That's in the same, that's Jackson County. Ocean Springs is Jackson County. 30 minutes away, but in the same county. But predominantly black school. He's in the NBA.
Wow.
If he would have went to Ocean Springs High School, there's no way he would have went to the NBA.
Now, why do you think this is? Do you think that someone there, like maybe the coaches or someone, are trying to hinder them? Because I would think their talent, especially someone who's making helping them to win all the games, would definitely be offered at least one scholarship.
But they said that his grades.
No, we know darn well that they do not care about athletes' grades. We know that.
His grades that's what I heard. His grades was why he didn't go to the big college like the other people, like the other white boys who was great too. But Bray was the quarterback, but I didn't think that he was doing what Sherrod Whitehead was doing, because he was the team. Sherrod Whitehead was the team.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut that off. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the Sherrod Whitehead was the team, and the last time a black male has went to the NFL in Ocean Springs was the name of a black male called by name of Irvin Spikes. He went to the Miami Dolphins.
And that was the last time. What year was that?
Ooh,
1972?
Early 90s, I think early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Late 80s, early 90s. Irvin Spikes played for the Miami Dolphins. We thought that was because I was best friends with his little bitty younger brother. So we thought that was so cool I thought that was cool. So I'm like, man, but my best friend brother played in the NFL and he would give us basketball. Man, we thought that was a thing, but that was, well, ain't nobody that, I don't know nobody from Old Spring that done that in sports that was a black person. And man, they going for the white kids going for baseball, football, and basketball. Yeah. They go to nice colleges and they going to the NFL. I mean the MLB, they just said like 60, if I ain't mistaken, from Mississippi went to the baseball league. So I'm already knowing probably 10 came from Ocean Springs.
Right.
I don't think none of them was people of our skin tone.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, Jay Gray says, Queen, the NCAA clearinghouse is what all athletes have to go through. And if your grades are not up to par, you go to junior college. Well, I guess if you're black, but at the end of the day, honey, they know how to cook the grades. Okay, they've been doing that for decades.
And I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, man, they could have to make Sherrod Whitehead, but why couldn't they cook his grades if everybody was going to the Friday night games, black and white, because they know Ocean Springs was not going to lose because of Sherrod Whitehead?
If they wanted him to go, they would have absolutely, because like I said, they've been doing this for decades. Okay. They were doing this when I was in college, because I know a few football players. I know at least 2 football players from my college who went to the NFL. Okay. Right. And I used to help them with the homework. Okay. So because their grades were not great. But so now with that all being said, tell me about them trying to take black people's land down there. What's going on with that? And even trying to take your business or whatever.
Oh yeah. In the downtown district, black people in my family included we got land worth millions that they want, and they tried to take it from us. I guess because when they redid the downtown district, all the bars and the shops and stuff, they renovated everything, brand new big buildings and stuff. Like, they didn't try to help the black people who couldn't afford to redo their houses and make it, man. They tried, if you couldn't do it, they tried to take it from you.
So just taking it, did they try to use eminent domain, or what was their excuse?
Wasn't in on when they was going, like all the black people was going down there to fight it, but something of that, and they ended up not winning because the black people stood their ground.
Okay, you know what?
I think that Sherrod Whitehead didn't go. This is just my, it's just a hunch. I don't think that he got his big shot at the big league because his family got property down there too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And they don't like that. Now, so tell me about, now I actually see, there's actually a video that I have, Ocean Springs residents. I just pulled this up. Mississippi slum designation law at federal appeals court. I think I may have shown my people this before. Yeah, hold on for a second. I think, this got to be it. I'm gonna share the screen. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna share the screen so you all can see this. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Members of an Ocean Springs church saying that's exactly what happened to them. They've been fighting to change Mississippi law, and today that fight took them to the federal appeals court in New Orleans. Parker Boyd has the story.
Members of the Macedonia Baptist Church in Ocean Springs walked out of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans with confidence Wednesday morning. They came here to challenge a Mississippi state law that allows cities to label neighborhoods as slum or blighted without notifying the people who live there.
I feel confident that they will rule on our behalf.
A Mississippi court dismissed this case in early 2025 without ruling on whether the law violates the Constitution. Greg Gibson and his friends turned to federal court and are now asking the appeals court to take a closer look.
That's not the right way to do it. It would not hurt the city of Ocean Springs to mail out 40 letters or 50 letters.
This fight began in 2023 when he and others sued the city for using its urban renewal plan that labeled parts of his community and his church as slums.
All homes in that ward is not blighted.
Renee Oliver lives on State Street. She says her property was labeled a slum without her knowing for months.
It was very, very difficult to even imagine someone taking my property from me.
There is indeed a due process problem here.
Dana Berliner is the lawyer representing the residents. She urged 3 judges to reopen the case, arguing that the law violates constitutional protections.
Okay, you guys, I have my mic muted, but I'm gonna stop right there because I actually do remember showing you all this before. So that's crazy. Now, what happened with your business?
Oh, I started up a little painting auto body shop in Oak Springs. Something that I was just doing it in my yard and ended up getting good and opened up my own business in Ocean Springs. And because the white folks weren't going for that, and they shut me down. And I was like, "Are you serious?" I thought that I could do it because this where I'm from.
Right.
That I can. But no. They didn't want me over there with the other white guys who had paint auto body shop too. So I moved my business to a predominantly black.
Okay.
And have no problems where I'm at.
Okay, well that's good. So it looks like they didn't want you over there because you were the competition, clearly.
And man, I was the competition and could put out the work, the exact same work that they're doing. Yep.
That's real crazy. So it's a whole lot going on down there. Now, I was telling you yesterday, I think it was, that I found out that they were actually the Klan, the Dixie White Knights, who clearly are nefarious, but they were supposedly passing out flyers down there in Ocean Springs back in 2024, and that's just a couple of years ago.
Just a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Now, have you heard anything ever about the Dixie Mafia?
Yeah, back in the they were nefarious too. Now they wasn't that nice, but I mainly heard about the White Knights, and they was mad for the Grand Wizard. You know what the Grand Wizard is?
Yeah, that's like the boss.
He was a resident of Ocean Springs. Owned a grocery store in Ocean Springs. When I was a kid, I watched them march with their suits and their those white caps, and I was just like, well, I never understood.
Where were they marching at?
But then when I was growing up, I had beef with his grandkids, and it was, man, and their friends that, man, we got called niggers and, the N-word and all that, man, we got called out our name. And that family is still in Ocean Springs to this day. They still have their little grocery. They ain't, but he's dead and gone. He died within the past 15 years ago. That I would say, but 15 years ago ain't that long ago.
No, it absolutely isn't. Now, let me ask you this: where were they marching at? Like downtown? What were they doing? Was it a parade? What's going on?
Downtown Ocean Springs, how the Israelite men came and did that. Exact same thing. That's what they did. And when the Israelites came into Ocean Springs with that march, man, the city shook. Ocean Springs did not like that, especially downtown, because that's where they went. Man, it was a whole bunch of the business owners that locked their doors.
What?
When that happened, they locked their doors. When that little protest was going on that day, a bunch of business owners, they locked their doors and closed their businesses that day.
You talking about when the IUIC came?
The guys in the purple.
Yeah, that's them.
All the 300 of them, and they look so beautiful.
They did.
Down the street. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
They made out that. Oh yes, that was so beautiful.
I love them. I'm gonna have to get their leader, Bishop Nathaniel, back on my show because I interviewed him like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed them. Okay, so with that being said, tell us about this FBI stop, honey. What happened with that? Are they? You think it was because of your stuff you posted on social media?
Yes. Now, I was posting about everything going down in Ocean Springs and about the history of the deaths. And the next day, I was going to my shop, leaving Ocean Springs, and I was pulled over. I'm like, "Oh, what is this?" I had made a U-turn because I needed some gas. So when I made the U-turn in a laundromat parking lot, he made the U-turn too. It was an unmarked Ford truck, and I'm like, why is this? So when I made the U-turn and got back into the street, the lights, I say, what the hell? I'm like, I don't do nothing illegal. I don't. So I'm thinking maybe that because I turned around and, so when he pulled me, so I pulled over in the gas station. I was going to get gas, so I pulled over in the gas station. I ain't the type to I'm hopping out the car.
Right.
Man, what is going on? What are you pulling me over for? What did I do? He said, well, first, he didn't tell me who he was. He just said, well, you don't got a tag on your car. I looked at him. I looked at my tag. I said, I got a dealer tag on my car. I said, you said there's no tag, meaning nothing on my car, but it is a dealer tag on my car. That's not illegal.
Right.
So it was an illegal stop. Because he had no right to pull me over. He said, you don't have a tag on your car. But I say, that is a tag. That is a dealer tag. I say, well, who are you? I'm the FBI. I say, what? I say, well, what are you pulling me over for? We watching everybody. They were like, well, can I search your car? I said, no, you can't, because I have my 10-year-old and my 5-year-old in there. They're going to work with me. We on the way to work. I say, so no, you cannot search my car, because my 10-year-old and my 5-year-old is in the car. They called the dog.
They called the dog? Hold on.
They made the dog do his little like something. Ooh, the dog alerted that there's drugs in your car.
What? Clearly lying.
Say what?
Clearly lying.
Say, man, I say, I am on the way to my business. I am a business owner. I say, man, I don't know who you are mistaking me for.
This is crazy.
The dog then alerted us, so we got to search the car. We got to get your kids from out of the car. So my kids came and stood by me. I said, well, I'm going to record you searching my car. Because I say, the only way I say, I will agree if you, I said, I got to record you. He said, well, no problem. So I recorded the whole ordeal, found absolutely nothing. I say, but your dog, I said, but you told me that your dog alerted you.
Right.
Drugs in my car.
They just be lying.
And there was nothing. And you told me, all right, have a nice day.
That's crazy. Now let me ask you this. So you think they were looking for illegal substances?
Man, they know I don't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They know everybody down. No, they know what everybody know what. If you doing anything illegal, people down here like me, like man, I got haters. So man, they'd have been turned me up. Man, they done sent the EPA. Everybody who you could think of trying to get to my business to shut me down, they have sent them to me.
That's just haters doing that because you're competition for their businesses. That's what that is. And some of them just mad.
Everybody, man, they know I don't sell drugs. I don't participate in nothing like that. They knew that.
But here's my question though. When did the FBI start conducting traffic stops? Anyway, make that make sense.
That's what I'm done.
That's crazy.
FBI agent conducted a traffic stop. Of you ain't got no tag on your car, but you see this a dealer tag.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
You know what though? It's a good thing you were thinking quick on your feet because you recording them may have kept you out of jail, honey, because I absolutely believe they wanted to plant something on you.
They have done it before.
Really?
The Springs police have planted marijuana on me before.
Really?
But it did not stick. Yes. Ocean Spring police has planted marijuana on me before.
So what did they do? They put it in your car or something when they were doing a search? What happened?
Back then, like if you were to get traffic tickets, they would put you on a $50 payment plan, and you got to go down there to the courthouse to pay your $50. But you got to show the judge your receipt that you paid, and you got to wait for them to call your name. So you are actually in the courtroom waiting for the judge to call your name. So you mean tell me I'm going to bring marijuana in the courthouse with me?
Clearly,
so now check this out. When they called my name for me to show, they was like, come to the back. I'm like, come to the back for what? They was down searching my property on State Street.
What?
Yes.
Did they have a warrant?
Man, I don't even know, but they was down there searching my property on State Street. They put me in the police car. They brought me down there to State Street while they was doing their little search.
That's absolutely crazy.
Found absolutely nothing, but when they took me out of the car, and I'm like, man, I told y'all well, look at this. What this is a bag of weed. I'm like, man, I just left the fucking courthouse. They do a pat search and all this do the one. I'm like, man, y'all just put that on. I say, man, I say, y'all know where I just left. You just gave me a ride from y'all's jailhouse court down here to my property, and I went in you guys' facility with drugs on me. I say, come on now. Come on. So they was like, oh, well, we're just gonna, long story short, they just threw it out.
After causing you
about this, but yes, they did that to me.
After causing you such an inconvenience.
Yep. Pulled me out of the courtroom, put me in the back seat of the car, took me down to my family property where everybody was at, and searching and stuff, found nothing. Let me go right there on the spot.
That is
told me to have a nice day.
Not have a nice day after putting you through all of that.
Yep.
So someone asked in my chat, someone wants to know, they said they realize home is home, but why do you stay there?
Man, tell you the truth. Because I would say, man, I ain't never lived nowhere else but Ocean Springs. So it's like, I don't, man, that's a good question. And I would tell them, well, if they could hear me tell them, like, I've been, like, I want to live somewhere else. After the Nolan, it was like, man, I don't want this no more. I can't. I've had enough of this place. It's enough of it. This is like, man, I've had enough. So tell the truth, I do want to live somewhere else. Yes, home is home. But man, I am tired of this place. Yeah.
Yeah, because this sounds like a whole lot. I mean, I really have been saying for years, I don't know how Black people stay in Mississippi. It is so nefarious. And then there's an article that I was reading that came out in 2021, and it says lynchings in Mississippi never stopped. And I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
With the sheriff and I mean, not the sheriff, but the Ocean Spring police, when his son did that, they dubbed that in the Sun Herald, that's our local paper in Ocean Springs. They dubbed that as an Ocean Springs lynching.
Really?
That was the article. Ocean Springs lynching. And Ocean Springs lynch, I say, ooh. Yeah, but it ain't like if you got white people it's just, don't hang with them. That's all I can tell you.
Okay.
Don't hang with them. Black people do their own little thing. It's like, if you know Ocean Springs, you don't hang with them.
Right.
Just like that.
Yeah.
You don't hang with them. You keep to your little circle, and that's it. But yeah.
That's crazy. Well, now with that all being said, hold on for a second. Hold on for 1 second. Okay, so with that all being said, now, what else would you say? Like, tell me about the schools. Now, the schools down there, do you ever hear anything about the Black students being treated differently? You know, their suspension rate being higher than their white counterparts? Because I have heard that in other places like Frisco, you know, where Carmelo Anthony is from. And that the ratio of them suspending Black teens, as you know, as opposed or versus the white teens for doing the exact same things. They may get into a fight, or you know, they may just do whatever, but the Black kids are the ones that get suspended and not the others. So does that happen down there?
Okay, glad you said that, because it's been incidents where white kids have threatened to blow up the school, and everybody knows about it. And it's like they go to the office, they talk about them. I mean, they go and talk to them, and they back in school. But it was a young Black girl who just recently, she was expelled indefinitely.
For what?
Can't never come back to Ocean Spring, for saying the same thing with one of the one of the white people, one of the white kids that said before about blowing up the school, which just saying it. She's not gonna do it though. This is a young girl, what, 16 years old, 17 years old, and she suspended her, can't come back ever, can't step foot on the property. Her mama.
That's a darn shame. And so clearly racial disparity. That's just what I thought, you know, because they try to make it sound like it's all nice and a beautiful place to live. And it does look like a beautiful place. But if you have to deal with all of that stuff on a regular basis, that's just a whole lot, honey. I don't think I could muster it. I just don't.
You are absolutely correct. And there's issues with the teachers in the Ocean Springs School District. Are they SA students? It's in the papers, the news share it. So man, it's a whole lot of cover-ups that they like to do that they might not try to let the public hear, and sometimes it'll get leaked to the public. And we like, well, why didn't y'all? It's because they try to keep it all on the low.
So has this been going on as of late, like recent years, would you say?
With what?
With the teachers, SA and the students.
I would say the freshest one 2 to 3 weeks ago.
What?
During the time, I'm talking right after the Nolan bomb, a teacher. Yeah, assistant principal to be exact.
That is so darn sad. That is a shame.
Charged with, charged with it. She comes to charge. Yeah.
I hope she did, and I hope she stays in there. So this is all crazy. So now, what else has been going down on there with the police? How do the police down there treat the Black citizens, as opposed to how to treat the white ones?
Now, back when I was coming up,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, it was it was man, it was rough. Only thing they want to do is lock us up, put us in jail.
I believe it.
Lock us up and put us in jail for just man. It was I feel that they will put drugs into the community for us to sell. Then they know that we gonna sell them because it ain't no money. And then you know they would come and arrest us. It's man, it was rough.
That sounds very very familiar because that's what they've always been doing to our communities. I mean, back in the 80s with the crack epidemic and all of that. So that is not surprising, especially with a history of racial violence and hate down there in Mississippi. That's real crazy. And also, by the way, beloveds, today is the 1 month anniversary of Nolan's passing. He died 1 month ago on July the 4th. So sad, and we still don't have any semblance of justice. I just think the devils are playing in our faces. Okay, at the end of the day, that audio that we just heard, I hope it's authentic because that really is going to, yes, because that's really going to put them on blast. That's really going to put them on blast. Now, what do you think about Nolan's death? How do you feel about that? What do you think, or do you have any theories as to what happened?
Shoot, when it first came out, the black community, when they said the black community, like I say, they couldn't tell us that man. We all said, man, them boys did something to that boy. That's what we automatically. It wasn't no because we like. Y'all, history repeating itself. If you from Ocean Springs, like, here we go again. It didn't already happen before.
You're right.
Yes, it didn't happen before. And they said, accidental drowning. But better, like, how could you say that before anything even happened? You can't just determine it. I think that was said because of all the previous
deaths at the same by the same circumstance. You know, I think that it was said more so because of who was involved, who was with Nolan when he came up missing. Because all of their parents have money.
Oh, yes.
All of their parents have money. With money comes power. So I believe these are rich and powerful people, specifically Judge Ashley Cole, because the judge has so much power and authority. And then they usually have so many ties and connections. You know?
Yes. So, you know, I'm just glad all this is being shown on Ocean Spring because, man, it was time. It was time. So I feel like that Nolan is our hero. Seriously, because if it wasn't for him, Ocean Springs wouldn't be on the national news being talked about of their history and how they have done black people and all this. You know, the Ocean Spring would still be considered us. So now with all this light shining on, I think people may be reconsidering on living here because some people ain't with all that was going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, man, I didn't know Ocean Springs was like that. I was told that this was a beautiful place and there's no crime and there's no, baby.
I don't trust any part of Mississippi. Okay, least of all not Ocean Springs after what I've recently learned about them. And let me just tell you this too, beloved. So you know, they told us that they were not going to publicly release the autopsy results, right? The first results that they did. They said they were going to send it straight to the grand jury. And so basically in Mississippi, cases go to the grand jury before someone is arrested sometimes. But you know, now I'm finding out that at the end of the day, that's the last portion of the process.
Queen, if it was an alleged drowning or accidental drowning, why would it have to go to the grand jury?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
Accidental drowning, that ain't got to go to no grand jury. So we're just waiting to see on who we already got speculation on who they're gonna try to point it at, but we're just trying to see who, and if everything adds up, we may be having to do a GoFundMe for Mr. Jayvon.
Lord, I hope not. But here's the thing, though. I hope not. But here's the thing for Jayvon. Now, you saw him arriving back, right? At around 4:30, between 4:30 and 5.
I watched him leave, watched him come back. Yes,
okay, so you might have to be his witness if they try it, because I absolutely think they will try it.
They know that I have to.
Mm-hmm. I think they absolutely will try it, because when Warren was on Tatum's show, you know, he was sitting there throwing out Jayvon's name, saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, I called her. I was the first one to call Miss Christine." He said Jayvon didn't call her. Okay, well, Jayvon.
So don't the boats got the time and
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the neighbors' boats, they got all that, so they bam, they get so
okay.
That would cooperate so that they go and look at their boat and get the time and show where they went. And I bet you that the time that I'm saying will be close in proximity to the time that, all of it will be around that same time. Might be a couple minutes off, but not hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Hold on. Someone just said they reported breaking news about the judge on the 911 call. That might be what I just played, beloved. Hold on for a second, Troy. Is that what I just played? Let me look and see if it's something else. I think that's what. Yeah, I think that's what that is. Yeah.
Judge on the 911.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, listen. I'm not gonna hold you, Troy. I know you have things to do, and this we've been on for like an hour and a half. But is there anything else you feel like you need to tell us before I let you go?
Pray for Ocean Springs. Y'all pray. Man, y'all can send y'all prayer. We need y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We need prayer. The Black community needs prayer. And
absolutely.
Y'all pray for us, please. We need it down here.
Absolutely, beloved. We sure will. And I'm going to tell you like this. In the event that they do get indicted, and I'm praying that they do, I'm coming to Ocean Springs for that trial. You can rest assured. I'm coming to Ocean Springs for that trial, because they need to go down. At the end of the day, and I'm going to tell you something else. I think that this is the last straw. I think this is it for Ocean Springs, because now a light has been shown on them so fiercely that I don't see how they'll be able to continue doing these things moving forward without, you know what I'm saying, and just getting away with it.
I did a post weeks ago that said Ocean Springs died July 4th. 2026.
Mm-hmm.
It was rebirth the same day. So all the old, like when I was doing those posts about Ocean Springs, it was elder white people who I don't even know getting on my post like well, I seen Nolan that day, and Nolan said but Nolan's parents should have did this. I'm like, what do you mean they should have contacted you for? I'm like, man, so that just lets me go to just to say, like, man, they doing something. When Christian said on his thingy with
Tatum.
Mm-hmm. that you don't know who you're messing with.
Oh yeah, he did say that. Now, what do you think he meant by that, honey?
All those white people in Ocean Springs, those upper elite in Ocean Springs, they don't know who they're messing with, but they don't put fear in me. They ain't never put fear in me.
Okay, I'm glad that's true.
Yeah, so they don't scare me, and I don't get bullied. Like I wish somebody would, after this is aired, somebody come to me threatening me, talk about, because it's gonna be consequences behind what you talking about, what you gonna do to me, because it's some people that's behind me that don't play behind me.
That's right.
So I'm not worried about none of that. I'm gonna speak my truth, and if they don't like it, then they don't have to listen.
That's right.
People should know what's going on in Ocean Springs. It shouldn't be hidden no more. Nothing should be hidden. Let it all out.
That's right. I absolutely agree. And at the end of the day, so they're in the chat saying they'll pray for you, but somebody said when I go, they're talking to me. When I go to Racist Springs, Queen, take your goons for safety and security. My goons.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ain't. You'll be protected when it ain't just like the Wild Wild West. It's just, if something happens, they could get away with shit.
Right.
That's what, but they can't do it no more. It's over with. They can't do it no more.
Yeah, I think it's a wrap.
They've been exposed, so they can't do it no more.
Yeah, they've been exposed for filth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, beloved, I hope the FBI leaves you alone. I mean, out here conducting traffic stops, that's real crazy, okay? That's real crazy.
If
But
they do, well, that video was given to my lawyer. He's on standby, so
okay, great.
I'm ready to do what I got to do to get to so my lawyer is aware of it, and he's ready to strike it up at any moment.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it because that's really crazy. Okay, so listen, I appreciate you for coming on and giving us your insight and your information and everything. And I'm going to keep in touch with you, okay? Because maybe I'll have you back on here for one of my panel discussions.
Okay. And I thank you, Queen. And it was my honor to share it, to let people know that don't know what's going on in Ocean Springs. You're not hearing it from a Christian. You're hearing it from somebody that's been here.
Mm-hmm.
Family's been here 200 years plus.
Wow.
So I know all the tea on Ocean Springs.
Okay. Well, I sure appreciate you, beloved. I'm going to let you go. And
thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I thank you for coming, okay? And tell your son I said thank him. Tell your son I said thanks so much for helping us out earlier. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks too.
All right, beloved. I'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
All right, so you all heard it here first. I find it all interesting. I find it all interesting. So down there harassing folks, FBI doing traffic stops now, pulling people over. That's really interesting. And also, let me just say, D Major says poverty is another huge factor in Mississippi. Yes, it absolutely is, beloved. And thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution. But here's the thing. I find it all interesting. Okay. I mean, I knew that it was racist stuff going on down there. You know, I absolutely knew that. But when he told me that people were being found dead on train tracks and they're saying that they did this to themselves, who's, first of all, in their right mind is going to lay on the train tracks? Okay? Who's going to lay on some train tracks, even if you did want to take yourself up out of here? That's real crazy. Okay, and it's really sad. And then the sheriff's son shooting somebody in the face and all this other stuff is really crazy. I tell you what, though, we also need to be praying not only for Ocean Springs, we need to be praying for justice because I think these devils have it wrapped up so tight that they just might be able to get away with it. Okay, they just might be able to get away with it. C-Stan says, sad, it's still so racist there. It is, beloved. It is. You know, it's racist still everywhere, but down there, it's like so deeply ingrained and rooted. Okay, it is really awful. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. But like I was telling you all, there's an article that I want to go to where it says the lynchings never stopped in Mississippi. But before we go to that, I want to finish listening to Nancy Grace because there's one part where she spoke to Teslin Figaro, and that was at the 50-minute mark. So I'm going to go to that because I'm going to share my screen. I want to listen to that because they were talking about how, you know, there's no sympathy for Nolan's family as far as it pertains to those threats. You know, and I told you all the same thing just the other day. I said, you know, they're getting these people arrested for supposedly threatening the judge and a government building. But what about the threats that Nolan's parents and family are receiving? I guess they don't care about that because that doesn't fit their narrative. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Tests, I go with a voice test like these young men took. I wouldn't let them take a polygraph. Susan Hendricks joining us, investigative journalist and reporter. Death threats, including one that says blood will be everywhere. What was that?
That was from a man out of Sacramento, now arrested and threatening the judge, who is the stepmother of Warren. And talk about frightening, saying a lot of blood. There'll be a lot of blood like there was on the boat, but yours will be much faster.
The perp is Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumars, arrested Thursday on charges of interstate transmission of threatening communication. Now, these are federal documents. What did he threaten one of the young men's mom with, Susan?
The threats were against Warren, one of the boys on the boat, his stepmother, who is a judge. And it was graphic. It was brutal, saying there will be blood everywhere, threatening her life, talking about on the boat. Saying
It really
does.
It says that he is sending a bomb to her office that will, quote, blow you away when you see it. Once that package is open, the timer will start. Then you have 10 seconds or less to ask God for forgiveness. So much blood everywhere. Hard to clean, especially from a boat. That was in that letter. And there is another death threat, Susan Hendricks, to Mississippi law enforcement saying, don't go outside. What happened with that?
Yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio woman calling 2 officials out of Mississippi several times, more than 25 times. Here is her mugshot. And you're right. Don't go outside, saying there's a bomb. So the threats are they're taking them seriously, as they should, and 2 arrests so far.
That's right. A woman now accused of bomb threats to government offices related to the Nolan Wells investigation. This is an Ohio woman facing federal charges. Michelle Francine Edwards, just charged in the U.S. District Court, Southern District, Mississippi. 1 count, transmitting threatening communications to interstate commerce. Okay.
This is the perfect pair for your iPhone, and it replaces 3 different chargers. So when I travel, I don't
their job appropriately when they're under a death threat. That's against Mississippi law enforcement. Trust me, there are people within law enforcement that are trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, there are people in law enforcement that's trying to do the right thing. Unfortunately, they just don't reside in Mississippi. Okay, please pay attention, because I don't think any of the law enforcement down in Mississippi is doing the right thing. I just don't.
Threats on one of the young men's mothers. That's not all. Teslin Figaro, Nolan's family has gotten threats too.
Absolutely. And, you know, I don't condone violence on anybody, but I do want to put some context behind this, Nancy, as well. I was a police officer in the Air Force. You're talking about government officials, meaning I'm sure the judge has received threats. I'm sure the police officer has received threats, although they should not happen. But these are individuals that have taken, just like you and I, have taken on, you know, positions that it comes with the territory. You have received death threats. I have received death threats. So the people that's not being talked about that's received the death threats is Nolan Wells' mother and father. Why is nobody talking about the death threats with them? They've reported it. Why isn't anybody arresting the people who are actually harassing the victims? It's online. It's available for people to see. So I just find it very interesting that there's so much sympathy for a police officer who not only do they receive death threats, they put their life on the line. They signed up and raised their hand to say, hey, pick me for the death threats and pick me to give my very life, as I did in the Air Force. So it is not right what is happening, but we also have to shine a light on the actual victims, the actual people who are grieving the loss of their son, and nobody gives a damn about the death threats that they're receiving.
I want to be very clear, Ms. Figaro. You say nobody cares. That's not true. I care. I care. I care about the death threats on Nolan's mother and his family and his team. I also care about death threats on one of these boys' mother and on law enforcement. And yes, my first death threat, oh my goodness, came back in the 80s. But guess what? They faxed it to me from the Fulton County Jail. So that wasn't much of a mystery. But with every time you take a position, you make people angry. The thing is, if these threats, including the ones on Nolan's mother, the mother, you know what I'm doing all night long till 2 o'clock, Miss Figaro? I'm packing my children to go away to college. That's what Nolan's mother should be doing tonight. She should be getting him ready to go back to school. Instead, she's visiting his remains. And now, death threats. We want justice in this case. We don't want secret grand jury proceedings. We don't want secret medical examiner reports. We want all threats investigated. We want the truth behind that audio. I want to know. And I want everybody on that boat polygraphed. We want answers. If you know or you think you know anything about this case, dial 228-769-3063. Tonight, we honor Canine Echo. Protect.
Okay. Now, let me ask you all this. When we listened to that audio at the beginning of the broadcast, did you all hear someone say, put a 1 in the chat, okay? Did you all hear someone say, get in the boat? Did you all hear someone say that? Get in the boat or get on the boat, something like that? Once in the chat if you all heard that, because I have several questions. Did anyone hear that? You all heard that, right? Okay, so I thought that's what I heard, but here's the thing. So who were they telling to get in the boats? Who were they telling to get in the boat? I have questions. Now, do you all think that maybe Nolan was not in the boat and almost drowned and they had to pull him into the boat? What is that all about? Why do you all think they were telling him to get in the boat if they were talking to Nolan? Okay, if they were talking to Nolan, I have questions. Why would they have been saying get in the boat? Why would he not be in the boat? Okay, why would he not be in the boat? Now, I'm just wondering if perhaps, okay, I'm trying to read the chats. Nola was on the boat with Bart, hence damn it, Bart. Yeah, I've been said that, beloved. I have been said that I believe he was in the boat with Bart. Absolutely. And when Warren said his friend was yelling, telling him to get in the boat, I absolutely think that was Bart that he was talking about. But my question is, why would he not be in the boat? Truth Brown said Nolan was gone already, I think. No, he wasn't gone already. He wasn't going already because I think he may not have been going already because they were saying, remember, Nolan's about to die. Check his chest. Okay? Check his chest. Nolan's about to die. I'm just wondering. Ashkan said they were talking to a devil in the water that just pushed Nolan's body onto the boat. Say what? I don't know. I just wonder. Nolan was on the boat. Well, who was not in the boat? That's what I want to know. Who was not in the boat? That just sounds strange. That water too shallow for him to just drown. Well, at this point, when they were making that phone call, they were out a little bit more so in the water, right? And why is the boat called the Mac Daddy boat? Where they're making a mockery. Now, that was not their boat. The Mac Daddy boat, I don't think that was one of their boats. That may have just been a boat that Nolan happened to be on. Okay, I could have sworn they said that was Katie's father's boat. I believe that's what was reported. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what people were saying. Okay. He did not have one good Lord friend on that boat. The reason I'm asking all of this is because I keep thinking about that dream I had when I told you all that Nolan was swimming towards the boat and they kept driving off with the boat, and then he'd get closer and they were laughing at him. Okay, that's why I'm wondering, was he in the boat or not? Was he not in the boat? They were doing something nefarious, like what I dreamt, and like what that other psychic said that I showed you all the video of, and then maybe they pulled him onto the boat. I just have so many questions. They put his body on the boat on the way back. What do you mean they put his body on the boat on the way back? You mean when they went to go and put his body, like place it, or is that what you're saying? You're talking about when they went to dump the body, allegedly, if they in fact did. We don't know what they did, but I'm just saying, are you saying you think that they went and placed his body somewhere where it was found, maybe, and that was when they put him back in the boat? Because I'm just trying to figure out what's really going on here. Okay, what's really going on here? Because I told you all that dream weeks ago, like right after it happened. I told you I had that dream, like literally right after it happened. He was not in the boat. He was trying to get to the boat and he was swimming towards it. And they kept backing up like they were playing a game of cat and mouse. And then someone told me, like 3 days after I said that psychic, I forget her name, but she said the same thing. And I showed you all the video. So I just have several questions. I have several questions. Reggie says the question is, how did Nolan actually get on the boat? Right. I don't know, honey. I have so many questions. But listen, let's talk about this article. Lynchings in Mississippi never stopped. So since 2000, there have been at least 8 suspected lynchings of Black men and teenagers in Mississippi. And this is according to court records as well as police reports. So the last recorded lynching in the United States was in 1981. Okay, this is what Jill Colin Jefferson, a lawyer and founder of Julian, a civil rights organization named after the late leader and civil rights leader, Julian Bond. Okay, now remember, I told you all why that was. The last recorded lynching was 1981, and let me just say it again for those who missed it. Listen, AJ says, but he can swim. Well, yes, he can swim, but the part where they were has riptides and the waters are very, very dangerous. Okay. And so if he got out a little bit too far, absolutely you could drown. Because at the end of the day, they say it's like a washing machine, like as rough as the water is, almost like a dam, because they compare a dam to the same thing. They compare a dam to a washing machine also, like somebody being just snatched into a washing machine, like a whirlwind spinning and spinning like that. So I don't know. I have questions. Okay, I have several questions. Ashkan says, then Bart went to clean his boat of evidence while Wyatt and the entire system disposed of his body, RIP and cover-up protocol. Right, allegedly. If something like that happened, yeah, allegedly that would make sense. Okay, but we have to say allegedly because we don't want Bart to sue us. Okay, Bart, we don't know what you did, but I absolutely think you did something, Bart. Okay, come to the front and explain yourself. But now let me get back to what I was saying. So for those of you who missed it, anytime I have said this, that I figured out the reason the last recorded lynching was in 1981 is because when Beulah May Donald, whose son was Michael Donald, he was lynched by the KKK and she sued them and she got a settlement award for $7 million. She literally bankrupted the Klan, even got possession and ownership of the building where they held their meetings. So they didn't ever want that to happen again. Once she did that, and that was very smart of her, because she's the only person that's ever done that to my knowledge in history. So just think about the consequences and the ramifications of that had they not, started calling these lynchings self-deletions. Think about that, because as many of these hangings and strange fruits that we see going on, if every Black person started to sue them, they would absolutely be bankrupt, not just in Mississippi, but throughout the country. And they can't have that. So they no longer call them that. They just act like people did it to themselves. Like you literally hung yourself from a tree. Make it all make sense. Now, it goes on to say that the lynchings never stopped in Mississippi. Said the evil bastards just stopped taking photographs and passing them around like baseball cards. Now, Jefferson was born in Jones County, Mississippi, which is the epicenter of the KKK and their reign of terror during the Civil Rights Movement. Coming from Mississippi and seeing stuff intersect, talking about this stuff like like talking about what happened down the road. Okay, this is what Jefferson said, who, by the way, is a Harvard Law School graduate who trained as a civil justice investigator with Julian Bond. So in 2017, Jefferson began compiling records of the Black people found hanging or mutilated across the country. And in 2019, Jefferson also began focusing her investigation on Mississippi specifically. Now, in each case that she investigated, law enforcement officials ruled the deaths as self-deletions, but the family said the victims had been lynched. And we know they had, okay? We know they had. Nobody, specifically not a Black person, is hanging themselves from a tree. And also, self-deletion is something that people tend to do in private most of the time. Okay, so historically, lynchings were often defined as fatal hangings by mobs, often acting with impunity and in an extrajudicial capacity to create racial terror. Now, crowds of white people often gathered in town squares or courthouses on the lawns to watch Black people be lynched. On the courthouse, isn't that something? From 1877 to 1950, more than 4,000 Black men, women, and children were lynched in cities across the country. And this is according to the Equal Justice Initiative, okay, a human rights organization based in Montgomery, Alabama, which opened the National Memorial for Peace and Justice in 2018 to honor the lynching victims. Now, during that period, Mississippi recorded 581, which is the highest number of lynchings recorded in any states. 581 in one state. Historians say lynchings often evoke the image of public hangings. However, the EJI and the NAACP expanded that definition to include any extrajudicial racial terror, killing, and mutilation committed to uphold racial segregation and a false premise of racial hierarchy. Now, the NAACP defines lynchings as the public killing of an individual who has not received due process under the law. During her investigation, focusing intensely on Mississippi, Jefferson began seeing patterns in the deaths and connecting the dots in recent cases of Black people found hanging, saying there is a pattern to how these cases are investigated. When authorities arrive on the scene of a hanging, it's treated as a self-deletion almost immediately. How many times have I told you all that? The crime scene is not preserved. How many times have I told you all that? How many times have I told you all that? Because you all know that I'm a criminal justice graduate and was previously a criminal justice professor. So with that all being said, I find it very interesting because I told you all, when they come out and say these things, they have not gathered or collected any forensic evidence, no DNA. They have not looked for any fibers. They have not sealed off the area where the body was found. Okay, they've not done anything. They've not put down anything to try to get soil or gather soil samples or to see if there's any footprints. They just say it's a self-deletion before they even do an investigation. So that's how you know they're full of crap. Okay, that's how you know that every time they find someone that looks like me hanging from a tree, that is absolutely a lynching. Okay, they commit us with it. This is all really crazy. So anyway, it goes on to say, the crime scene is not preserved, the investigation is shoddy, and then there is a formal ruling of self-deletion, despite evidence to the contrary. And the case is never heard from again unless someone brings it up. And see, this is what we have to stop. We have to put a stop to this. Like, we literally have to put a stop to this. We cannot allow them to keep getting on with calling these things self-deletions. We're going to have to do something. Now, each day, Jefferson works on that list of 8 suspected hangings, including the 2018 hanging of Willie Andrew Jones Jr., okay, trying to bring justice to grieving families. And the following are 7 of those victims, plus Craig Anderson, who was fatally beaten in a racial terrorist attack that a federal judge called a lynching. So let's talk about it. We're going to start with the year 2000, June 16th. A man by the name of Raynard Jackson. He was found hanging from a pecan tree in his front yard in Kokomo, Mississippi. Now, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation called the hanging a self-deletion, according to records, but his family believes Johnson was lynched. In 2000, the Reverend Jesse Jackson traveled to Mississippi to call attention to Johnson's hanging, saying there's enough circumstantial evidence and stuff here that warrants a serious investigation, and we will will not rest until those who committed this murder are brought to justice. Okay, that's what Jesse Jackson told demonstrators before leading a march to the pecan tree where Raynard was found. He said, "We reject the self-deletion theory." Now, in February of 2001, they said the Justice Department announced it ended its investigation into Johnson's death. The evidence does not show or does not support a federal criminal civil rights prosecution, they said. Raynard's mother, Maria Johnson, says that she's still waiting for some kind of justice. She says, "My son's death marked the modern age of a fight that Black people have been in with Mississippi and this nation for centuries. They tried to cover this up, but I've never given up hope. And that's the thing that should scare them, because I never will." This is so sad. This is very sad. Like, these people are not getting answers, okay? Just being told lies and no accountability and no justice. And then in 2003, January the 9th of 2003, Nick Taylor, 23 years old. Okay, so 3 years later, Nick Taylor was found hanging from a tree about 11 miles from his house in Porterville, Mississippi. A dog chain was wrapped around his neck. Police ruled the death self-deletion, but an attorney for the family said it was a lynching. Absolutely. They say every time someone loses their life in a hate crime, it opens up the wound. This is what LaQuincha Naylor, age 43, who was the sister of the victim, said. She said, "We have no closure. His killers are probably still around here walking around. And I have little Black boys. I've got great grands, okay, kids walking around the same place where my brother got hung. And we had to tell them what happened for their own protection." Now, one thing we always wonder is what they did to him before he died. And there is no telling. There is no telling. These devils probably did some of the same stuff they did to Black men during slavery, sadly. Now, then in 2004, April 22nd of 2004, Roy Veal, 55 years old. A year later, Roy Veal was found hanging from a pecan tree near Woodville, Mississippi. A relative say, "What is these pecan trees? What is that all about?" I'm going to have to look into it. Maybe there's something to that. Seems to be a pattern, possibly. So it goes on to say Veal was found with a hood over his head. A state police spokesman told reporters that Veal's death was consistent with self-deletion, with a hood over his head. I mean, I told you, they don't care what kind of lie they tell us because they know we can't do anything about it. Now, relatives say they believe Veal, who had returned to Mississippi to fight for his family's land, was lynched. A spokesman for the sheriff's office in Woodville said the case is with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation. 2004. And that's probably why they did it, because he came to fight for his land. They obviously wanted it. Okay, just like they want the Black people's land right now. So then, December 3rd of 2010, there was Frederick Jermaine Carter, age 26. Now, he was found hanging from a tree limb in a white neighborhood in Greenwood, Mississippi. The state medical examiner ruled his death self-deletion. Relatives called it a lynching and demanded for a federal investigation. Let me tell you all something. You know what this all proves? I want you all to pay attention, because you know what this all proves? This proves that conclusively, this proves that they're on code. Throughout this country, they're all on code. All of the police, all of the FBI, all of the governments, okay? Because at the end of the day, how are all of these states always telling us the same thing? Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. So that means the police, the mayors, okay, the governors, the presidents. Yeah, this is what it means. All of these people of authority, they're all in on it. And y'all think we're going to get reparations? These people don't want to even admit that they are lynching our people. Okay, that's what they don't want to admit. So I don't think we're ever going to get reparations. Okay, at least not in my lifetime. I don't see it coming. So anyway, with that all being said, there was another person, Craig Anderson, 49, June 26th of 2011. Okay, they say that the two carloads of white teenagers drove into a motel parking lot where they spotted Anderson, and some teens jumped out of their cars and started beating him in an attack that was captured on surveillance video. I wonder how they're going to explain this. So then in March of 2012, three of the teenagers, identified as Daryl Dedman, John Rice, and Dylan Butler, pleaded guilty in federal court to charges of conspiracy of committing a hate crime. Okay, so they took a plea deal. That's because it was on video, I promise you. So during a sentencing hearing, U.S. District Judge Carlton Reeves connected the killing of Anderson to the state's gruesome history of lynchings, telling the courtroom that a toxic mix of alcohol, foolishness, and unadulterated hatred caused these young people to resurrect the nightmarish specter of lynchings and lynch mobs from the Mississippi that we long forgot. Honey, y'all didn't forget anything, because when did it ever stop? When did it ever stop? So they said Reeves said that the group of white teenagers targeted black neighborhoods in Jackson and for the sole purpose of harassing, terrorizing, physically assaulting, and causing bodily injury to black folk. Now, these are teenagers, mind you. Now, they go on to say the marauders, according to the judge, prowl the community. They recruited and encouraged others to join in the coordinated chaos, and they boasted about their shameful activity. This was a 2011 version of the ninja hunts. Wow. Do y'all hear this? The ninja hunts. So you all know they used to hunt black folk, right? They used to actually issue out these hunting licenses. Okay. And they still hunt our people. Let's not forget what happened to Rasheem Carter down there in Laurel, Mississippi. Okay, as well as Tyrekus Atkins. Okay, but his story was just never reported on the news. But I told you all about that. That happened right before Tyrekus. But luckily, he was able to get away. Okay, he lived to tell the story. Now, they say Mississippi has expressed its savagery in a number of ways throughout history, slavery being the cruelest example, but a close second being Mississippi's infatuation with lynchings. Okay, they described it as an infatuation. So Otis Byrd, who had been missing since March the 2nd of 2015, was found hanging from a tree on March the 19th of 2015 in Port Gibson, Mississippi. I believe that's the man that was walking his dog. I remember this story. Okay, Claiborne County Sheriff Office said Byrd was found with a bed sheet wrapped around his neck. Byrd had been convicted in 1980 of the murder in the death of a white woman, according to the Mississippi Department of Corrections. And then he was paroled in 2006. So that's likely why they did it. Now, the FBI and Justice Department's Civil Rights Division launched an investigation. In 2015, the Justice Department released a statement regarding Byrd's death and saying that investigators had no foul play. They had no evidence of foul play. Please. And that's what they always say. They say, after a careful and thorough review, a team of experienced federal prosecutors and FBI agents, that's how we know they're all in cahoots, okay, determined that there was no evidence to prove that Byrd's death was a homicide. And then in 2017, May the 28th of 2017, 22-year-old Philip Carroll. Now, Carroll was found hanging from a tree in Jackson, okay? And police said that it was also self-deletion, and early reports said that Carroll had been found with his hands tied behind his back. So we know absolutely it wasn't a self-deletion. The police denied the accounts. Saying if there's any other information or evidence that anyone may have to make us believe that it may not be self-deletion, again, we're open to any information and any evidence to aid us in the investigation. Okay, this was the Jackson County or the Jackson Public Commander Tyree Jones told reporters. But as of right now, we don't have anything other than the fact that his death has been ruled self-deletion. And then the last one was from 2019, DeAndre Montrell Hopkins, age 35. Now, he lived in Columbus, Mississippi, and was found hanging from a tree on a bank of the Luxapahila Creek. I know I said that wrong. Now, Columbus Police Chief Fred Shelton said Hopkins' death was not a homicide. This is absolutely egregious. So this is what's been going on in Mississippi. And like I told you all, they have 7 active Klan groups down there, including the Dixie White Knights, who we already know are nefarious. Okay? So I just couldn't do it. I just could not stay there. It's just too much going on. I would just feel so like I'm always anxious, always on go. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't do it. Absolutely not. I'm trying to see how you pronounce this word. Hold on. Luxapahila. Okay. All right. So anyway, that all been said, I wanted to see what Judge Mathis had to say about the audio Okay, so I'm going to pull that up really quick. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. Now I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is just going to be a brief clip from The Art of the Dialogue. I think that's where he was at. I literally just saw this. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. It's like Tatum will get his because he loves Becky, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, he absolutely will, beloved. Listen, these raccoons like him, they always get theirs sooner than later. Okay, they literally always get theirs. I mean, their ninja wake-up date is always going to come when they least expect it.
By Nolan's friend that I want you to check out. Check your phone right quick. I want to get your take on it.
Tito Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
That I did not know that existed, and if this is authentic radio transmission between the dispatcher and the caller, then certainly this turns it on its head. They're observing him injured, asking if he's dead. Whoever on that call, with the technology we have now, and with interviews amongst the folks who were there, or the phone that the emergency call came from, the dispatcher has that number. Someone can get it. Then you'll go to the person who made the call and say, "What did you see?" This is real easy if that is the case. So we'll see what they do with this evidence. The fact that there's some audio from the dispatcher where the person calling asks, or in the background, one or the other, asks, "Oh my God, is he dead?" So that's a whole new level of evidence that I'm interested in seeing where they go with that. And perhaps that's what the prosecutor may have all of this information and say, we're not sharing it because we don't want to bias. We don't want to create bias, et cetera, in the case because in the media, and she may have that. She may have that and take it right to the grand jury. That's what I'm hoping, if they don't disclose it to the widespread media this week.
Yeah, I don't know how you can justify that audio.
Can't. Not with someone in the background saying, "Is he dead?" Even if you were calling to say there was a fight, it sounds like you're looking at something that has already happened, and you witnessed what happened, and you're saying, "Did he die from what I just saw?" That's what you're saying. Oh, is he dead? Or what? Somebody walked you from around the park and said, "Hey," or around the other boat dock and say, "Hey, come look at this." No, you were there. So if that video and audio is correct, it's a whole nother level of evidence that indicates culpability.
And just for clarity, what do you personally believe happened to Nolan Wills?
Well, what we're told is that he got on the boat with several white buddies in Mississippi, went to Fun Island, for lack of a better term, where everybody goes to this island to have fun on their boats. Overwhelmingly 90 to 100% white, 99.9 perhaps if you include Nolan. And his buddies say they left him there. He ends up dead. His buddies say we left him there and we told him to come, let's go. He refused to go. However, we had his phone, and you claim that everybody puts their phone away when they're on the island, and I don't believe that for 1 minute, that teenagers leave their phones for hours just because they're on the island. What's the relationship there? You don't want to drop it in the sand, or the water, you can drop it in the water then. Nonetheless, that, and then of course, them not returning the phone to his mother, time they arrived back, them not reporting him missing to his parents or their own parents. Then we have the young lady, Katie, who he allegedly stayed back to be with. Her sister says that they weren't spending a lot of time with Nolan, and that they also left without Nolan, meaning they had seen Nolan go somewhere when they were leaving. Did y'all just shake, hug, and walk away? And then someone saw him and said, hey, let's get with him because he kissing and hugging on that white woman and we don't play that and don't want to play that? Or is it, as I think it is, that they had something to do with his drowning, and they've come up with a variety of alibis that don't make sense? And so I believe they had something to do with his drowning, or certainly some knowledge of it. They have knowledge of it at the very least.
Okay, I absolutely agree with Judge Mathis. Let me tell you all something, honey. I just saw something. Let me just double check something real quick. This is all crazy. Hold on, honey. This might be some more news. Hold on. Let me let you all check out this video while I figure this out. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Kid, like my own son, would we be picking apart what he did before he disappeared? Or would we be demanding answers from the people who were with him right before he died? White people, we must do better than this. It's amazing how quickly some victims are questioned, while others are immediately met with compassion. Nolan deserves the dignity we extend without hesitation to white victims. His family deserves answers. And until those answers come, maybe we should spend less time trying to explain him away and more time asking the questions we would of any other child. Empathy shouldn't depend on race, and neither should our demand for answers. Justice begins with asking the same questions for every child, no matter what their skin color. If he had been a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid like my own son, would we be picking apart what he did?
They absolutely would not be picking apart anything. They would absolutely be demanding answers, okay? Just like Nolan's parents are. All right? That's what they would be doing, but we can already see how this is going. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure this is some news before I say anything about it. Somebody just sent me something. Let me just verify. Okay, it's saying that this is not so, Desmond, because you just sent me this and somebody else just sent it to my email. I think you both see the same thing. Hold on. Let me just check one more thing. Because I would not put anything past this devil. Let me see here. Hold on, beloveds. I'm trying to see. What is this? Okay. I don't see anything on his channel about that. Let me just check one more source. Let me just check one more source real quick. Yeah, I can't substantiate that. Okay, so what it is somebody's doing a video right now. Someone is doing a video and they're alleging that Officer Tap Dancing Tatum. Hold on. Let me listen in for just a second. Cause this person that's doing this video, they're not always the most truthful person, in my opinion. Okay, so that's why you gotta fact check and see if this is clickbait. Let me see here. Hold on, beloveds, just give me a second. As a matter of fact, while I'm looking for this, I'm gonna let you all listen to a Nolan song. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Give me just a second.
We not going nowhere. Justice for no. We not going nowhere. Justice for Nolan Wells. They called them bad parents. Said they can't even grieve. Disrespect, they called evil by the real evil people. Labeled them out the blue. Elmo stood up and said we was not raised like that. We did not raise our kids like that.
Okay, so listen, honey. Let me tell you all something. I don't know if this is true or not. Like I said, I can't find anything to verify it other than this person talk about on their live. But what I would say is it may be true, it may not. But so someone is saying that Officer Tap Dancing Tatum has compiled a list that he has supposedly turned in for Nolan's frenemies, okay, basically, for them to sue. And on that list, they're claiming, let me tell you the names on there, honey. Let me tell you the names on there. And like I said, this is all alleged, honey. I don't know. This is what somebody just sent me. So basically saying that Secret Service Sam's name is on there, Willie D, his name is on there, Queen's Flip, and a couple of other people, and saying that even if we're saying allegedly, that's not going to help. That's what it said. Well, here's the thing. I don't really give a shit. Okay, I don't really care. If y'all want to sue, because I don't think they're going to sue anybody, because I already told you why. Because the first thing I'm going to want to know if I get sued, the first thing I'm going to want to know is I want discovery. Where are your electronic devices? I need to see what's stored in the clouds. Okay, I need to know what's on your Snapchat. I need to know what's on your Instagram that you deleted. Okay, any of your social media. I need to know all of this. Okay, that's what I want to know. I want to know what's on your computer history. What were they looking for? Googling. Okay, I have several questions. So with that all being said, honey, please pay attention. Okay, please pay attention. They didn't say anything about the queen, but you never know. Pensacola said, I heard someone say they have a list. They just might. If they do, shout out to them. Let's get it popping. That's all I got to say. Let's get it popping, okay? Because like I said, the period of discovery, that's going to be bad for them because we already know that they have told lies. They have told contradicting stories. We don't know if they did anything to Nolan, but at the end of the day, we absolutely think they did something and we have good reason to suspect it, okay? So with that all being said, Truth Brown said, we throwing down about Queen. Sue us all. Okay? Hey, they can sit down somewhere because you know what? I'm going to do what they do if I get sued. I'm going to do exactly what they do. And y'all already know, start a GoFundMe. Okay? Start a GoFundMe. All right? And in the meantime, demand discovery. And I already got a lawyer on standby, so quite frankly, I'm not pressed. Okay? And anyway, here's the thing. Quite frankly, as I told you all before, when the lawyer first was talking about suing Kimberly, you see, the first thing they have to do is they're supposed to send you a cease and desist. Now, they may not do that in all cases because, oh, matter of fact, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, didn't their lawyers say that he would not be just filing the regular defamation lawsuit? He was going to be filing the defamation per se, which means that you don't have to prove that you lost anything because the accusations would be so egregious that, in fact, it would just be obvious that you suffered something. You know, it's all still good. Like I said, just come with it and make sure they're ready for the period of discovery because I would love to see how that all turns out. Okay. And like I said, if I get sued, honey, I'm just going to file me, start me a GoFundMe real quick. Okay. Just like they're doing. All right. Just like they're doing. All right. Please pay attention because it's interesting that they have started this funding campaign for their civil case in case they get sued for wrongful death, but nothing for criminal. Okay, well, y'all must know y'all didn't do anything then. Okay, so we'll take your word for it until we get the rest of the facts. So until then, we're going to think what we want to think. Okay, Brian said, Cap, that's that up in Discovery. Yeah, listen, they don't want to open up Discovery. I promise you they don't. Gemini said, I wouldn't be shocked now if he have Tatum on his show. Ha! Okay. So listen, with that all being said, beloveds, I'm about to be out of here. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay, be sure to click that notification bell. And each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Okay? And until next time, Queen would rip them a new one. They would go down. You already know. Okay? And so with that all being said, I will talk to you all again soon. And I will be back in the morning with your morning wake-up call. Peace.
Oh, yeah, I'm on your ass. I just got to know. What up with that audio? Well, we not gonna stop. No, we won't go. I'm hugging your parents in spirit. We on this case and we demand answers. Oh, they expose. The real queen of receipts dropping. Oh, and we got your back. Somebody gonna talk. Hell yeah, the ancestors walking. I'm so serious. Queen on the case. Oh, they asking full-blown panic now. They trying to shut us down, close our mouth. But I just won't. Damn that. Well, we not gonna stop. No. We won't go. I'm hugging your parents in spirit. We on this case and we demand answers. Oh, they expose. What happened to you? We tied. You don't get the all my kids ain't cover it up. I said, show yourself. Yeah, steady talking about they was his friends. I said, show up and talk if that's the case. Hold on, Nolan, it's coming to the light. Yeah, the queen on the case. Hold on, Nolan, we won't give up. Rest in his peace. We all love you. No. Nolan. Well, we not on this case. Oh, they expose the real queen of receipts. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. We got your back, back, back. Somebody gon' talk. Hell yeah, the ancestors walking. Rest in his peace.